to the communist governments. These contacts bore financial fruit when his father was vice president and after he left office. The report warned that the investigation found the Obama administration knew about and ignored Biden's problematic position on the board.
Well, clearly, I think China believes that they have a much better relationship with a potential President Joe Biden. That's clearly, portrayed when you look at the immense amount of money that they funneled through to Hunter Biden. But that goes without saying, because the challenge they've had with President Trump has been the fact that he's been pressuring them on almost all fronts, whether it be trade or finance or immigration or theft of intellectual property. He's basically unleashed the federal government to go after the Chinese Communist Party. Now, this has been completely opposite to the approach taken by all the former presidents since Kissinger, and certainly was counter to what I witnessed with the Obama administration, where Joe Biden was the vice president. So I think their clear incentive here is to reset the relationship between the U.S. and China in a way that promotes the Chinese Communist Party's interests.
On December 9th, 2020, YouTube announced, "We will start removing any piece of content uploaded today or any time after that misleads people by alleging that widespread fraud or errors changed the outcome of the 2020 U.S. presidential election." Also on December 9th, 2020, Mark Sarin outlined on social media how Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg donated hundreds of millions of dollars to the Center for Tech and Civic Life right before the election.
What he did was, on September 2nd, Mark Zuckerberg, at the time he announced he was contributing $300 million. We think it's up to $500 million since then. He announced another $100 million weeks later to CTCL, the top 21 recipients of Zuckerberg grant money, which totaled $80 million, all went to Democrat-run cities where Hillary Clinton won by a large margin, in swing states primarily.
Well, I have a number of concerns when it comes to big tech. Twitter, for example, Twitter has been posting warning signs and, signs saying, you can't trust this content. There literally was a post a few days ago by President Trump referring to some of my work and to an appearance I made on a television show, the Tucker Carlson show. So Trump posted a link to that interview with me, and Twitter then attached a warning sign saying, the claims made here are fraudulent. So we have a number of problems here. We have multiple tech companies basically doing whatever they want to shift opinions however they please. That's the status quo right now. So following the election, their campaign, I guess we can call it a campaign, which is ironic, their campaign to control public opinion has not stopped. If anything, it's gotten worse.
The Trump phenomenon is what driving this whole thing. I think the media felt he was going to lose and lose badly. The polls were showing that he was going to lose and lose badly. So I think the assumption was on election night, they were going to interpret whatever news there was in that light, that the light was that Joe Biden was going to win. But this has been going on for 4 years.
One of the leaks from Google last year was of a computer application at Google, which is called Twiddler. And Twiddler is a system Google developed for re-ranking search results. I was told by the whistleblower who actually brought that manual out of the company, Zach Voorhees, I was told that if Google wanted to turn off the bias in search results that might favor one political candidate, for example, they could do so, he said, like flipping a switch. It's that easy. We also found what appears to be a smoking gun. We found a period of days before the election when the vote reminder on Google's homepage was going only to liberals. Not one of our conservative field agents got a vote reminder on those days.
The mainstream media in this country now is operating very much like the media used to operate in the Soviet Union or operates in communist China.
China has plenty of motivation to oppose the re-election of Donald Trump. In Donald Trump, you have the first American president in 50 years to stand up and defend American interests, defend American alliances, and defend American friends from Chinese predations. In Donald Trump, the Chinese finally met a global leader who would deny their goal of global hegemony. Therefore, the Chinese Communist Party had a direct and very strong interest in making sure, or doing whatever they could, to ensure that Donald Trump would be defeated in this election.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Back in January 2017, only 19 minutes after Trump's inauguration, the Washington Post proclaimed the campaign to impeach President Trump has begun. Over the past 4 years, a hidden power has been plotting to implement schemes to oust Trump in a subversion attempt, yet each time these ended in failure. Now in 2020, we are witnessing the most serious, most widespread election fraud ever over the 244 years of American history.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.